So you know what I'm going to do? Let's read Joe Jackson's story, right?
Yeah.
Let's find out what it is that he was thinking about, okay? And the question we're asking is that should Ghana consider running a 24-hour economy,
which means that throughout the day, 24 hours around the clock, businesses
business everywhere.
are
Businesses
happening.
are opening.
People are working.
Yeah.
We're doing a shift system.
Yeah. All right. So here's the story on citynewsroom.com, which you can go and read for yourself, but I'm going to read it here. You can't impose 24-hour economy on Ghanaians. This is Joe Jackson speaking. Now, the economist and director of operations at Daylex Finance, Joe Jackson, has criticized the proposed 24-hour economy being pushed by former President John Dramani Mahama and the governing New Patriotic Party. Okay, it says here, according to Mr. Jackson, no government can impose a 24-hour economy on Ghanaians. However, he urged the government to provide incentives and create a favorable environment by making a 24-hour economy enticing for entrepreneurs. Now, the important thing is you cannot impose a 24-hour economy. You can only provide incentives for the 24-hour economy and trust that entrepreneurs would risk their capital and businesses to join in. If there is somebody ready, and if there are enough people ready to eat fufu at midnight, I assure you somebody will be pounding fufu at midnight. There is enough market for me to share all my locally produced chips, and then I assure you I will produce chips. Now, Joe Jackson made the remarks on Eyewitness News on Citi FM after Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta announced that the government intends to improve the night economy to boost tourism in the country. Okay, so these are his challenges, right? He says, forgive me if I'm not as excited about the proposal this evening. As a business, I look into certain issues. Is there a market? Is there somebody to buy what I want to produce? Can I produce at a cost that makes sense? Would I find the right inputs, including raw materials and people to do it? And he goes on, as a government, you have been promised to create a framework to make sure that the inputs are at competitive prices so that power is available, and I am sure your entrepreneurs would work without a problem and they would sign on without a problem. And so the article goes on. So here's a question.
Yes, I mean, so I see where he's coming from. I see his point completely. And I mean, of course, he's right. The economy isn't just made up of state actors.
Yes.
You've got the private sector. And private sector is taking their own risks in building their own business models and executing those models. So how many people you're employing, how much time you're spending in the space that you've rented, how much you're paying for rent if you're renting space, how much you're spending to put up a building to run your business, if it's a brick and mortar type, if it's online, how much are you paying for internet, web hosting costs to make sure that your business can run online, all that. If it's products, how much are you producing? What's your capacity per day, per week, per month, per year? And are you able to meet a certain level of demand? All that. So I agree with him on that. However, and he says that yes, the government should make it enticing for entrepreneurs to do that. You know, however, the policy, and I think he touched on that, we're on the same page really, is clear that if you want to start thinking about a 24-hour economy, then yes, first of all, like the announcement or the conversation has begun, let's have it. Would it make sense for us? Should we do it? Yes or no? Why shouldn't we do it? And then what does government need to do policy-wise to ensure that they're putting the structures in place so that, like we mentioned earlier, for example, if I'm running my business at 2 a.m., there's enough security in the city that's alert that I am safe. My workers are safe. There's enough transportation that if I'm coming to work at midnight, I'm not paying a cost for a ride at 70 cedis just because it's night time, when I could have paid 20 cedis at 6 or 7 a.m. for the same distance. You know, so there's a lot of conversation to have. But let's hear from our viewers. Abraham from Pokwasi is on the line. Good morning, Abraham.
Hello. Abraham.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Abraham. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm really glad this morning this issue came up because some of us wanted to join the discussion.
Wonderful.
The platform is given to us, so I'm grateful. What I have to say is that these are our leaders, we are called international leaders. They are not thinking for the generation. They are generational leaders, but they're not thinking for the generation. You are talking about 24 economy. You say, Mahama, I am not doing politics. Say, everything that begins, it begins from the scrap. We have a lot of problems in this country. Many projects have been abandoned. So many things that we need to do. We agree. What he's saying is, I'm not saying it's not a good idea. Okay. Because there's no policy that you will implement without giving it at least a trial.
Right.
You cannot just look at it far away and say, no, it won't happen. And we are happy. But they are talking is too much. They are talking for power. They just want to have the power. That's the problem I have with them. When you give them the platform, the opportunity, they'll come and tell you something else. But what I need to tell advice is only he listens. I don't know. We should know that Ghanaians can understand. We look at you, and those who we are understanding, will be able to know what you are saying is true or not. And then we will make our decision. But for what he's saying, it's a good thing. But looking at it, even the same person who came for 3.5 years, doing so was killing business. The same Mahama, who said, so I don't want to say, so we thank God for his idea. So we're just praying that as the CHS is in motion and we are trying to solve the problems that we are encountering. If it comes and able to do it, then we thank God. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. I think Abraham makes a great point that, it's not a bad idea, it's a great idea, but in campaigning towards election 2024,
it's easy to talk.
Yes, let's think about the things that we need to solve here and now. We still have dire issues. I think, that's a valid point.
I want to look at some of the pros and cons of a 24-hour economy. So one of the pros that I see, if, for example, you go and rent a space to do business, right? And let's say you rent a space for 1,000 cedis a month, right? And you're using it to do business, whether selling or whatever you're using the space for. Suddenly, your 1,000, it's not 1,000 for your 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour day. It's your 1,000 for 24 hours. Because now, what you would have done and closed at, let's say, 5 p.m. or 7 p.m., you will now have a shift group of staff that will work longer or potentially can work longer, right, on the same rent. But knowing Ghanaians, landlords will also say, okay, so since we have brought ourselves, we're going to increase rates, to capitalize on those who are going to be working through the night as well and take advantage of that. But I mean, I think that in terms of business, it gives us the opportunity to open up services, open up all kinds of product provision and all of that, so that people, like you said earlier, if your work is such that you close at 9 p.m., there are many places that by the time you get to your neck of the woods, the shops are closed, you see, and it's difficult. So then you have to always strategize and plan. I don't have to get somebody to go and buy something for me, or I have to dash out of the office to go and buy and come. There's a Zoom call you have to attend to before you can. So all kinds of complications. But if we know that at any point in time in the night, we can always get, all right. We have Roland on the line. Roland, good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. What do you think about a 24-hour economy? Is it a good idea?
To me, I think it's a fantastic idea.
Okay. Why do you say so?
Listen, let's first look at Mahama's track record. Apart from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who built more infrastructures, Mahama is the next after Kwame Nkrumah. We ask presidents since Kwame Nkrumah, but Mahama in his 3.5 years, listen, please, I'm making a point.
Okay.
In his 3.5 years as a president, it's big well done, even those who spend 8 years.
Okay.
And the same person is coming to say, I want to use all the 24 hours to run the economy. It's a fantastic idea.
Okay.
When you travel out as well. So why can't we do it? We can. Secondly, look, when you apply for a passport,
yes,
how long does it sit on their tables there? So if, for example, passport office is 24/7, don't you think it will reduce these 6 months or 3 months to like a week or two?
So you're saying that if we use more hours more productively, we'll get more things done. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. So to me, I think it's a fantastic idea. So exactly, yeah.
All right.
So I think it's a fantastic idea, and he's done it before. So we should give him the nod. We should give him the chance. Let us not politicize this. You see, you read somewhere in the recent budget that is going to ensure work day and night to do something. It's copied from Mama's idea.
All right.
And when you look at these two presidential candidates, Mama is the only person who has a message for Ghanaians.
All right.
So let us not politicize this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Roland.
But Roland, you are doing exactly the same thing as you are saying. As you say, we shouldn't politicize. That's exactly what you are doing.
No. My problem is,
as soon as you say he's the only one who has great ideas, that's politicizing.
We just want to look at the economy.
Is it a good idea or
I
not?
understand from where you are coming from.
Yes.
I understand from what.
But we appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, so you were making a point before Roland called, and I just wanted to react to that.
Yes.
You mentioned the rent, but you see, the other thing is, just like Joe Jackson has expressed concern about, are we? So we do a 24-hour economy, but again, there must be the constant, the ceteris paribus, that all other things being equal, that we have the same amount of demand throughout the 24 hours, or at least similar looking demand, that whatever we're doing during the day, if we do it at night, it will be just as profitable. That we are assuming that, we are saying you close late, you need to go to a place, convenient. If shops are open, if businesses are running, it would work out well for us, it would bode well for us. But then would the demand be the same every post 9 p.m. Or would you have people falling asleep in the businesses, in the shops, because there's no activity happening? Is our economy big enough? Is the market big enough to say that if we run for 24 hours across the board, we will still make the profits that we're looking at? So that if, yes, the Ghanaian landlord or landlady that we know increases the rent, it doesn't now even become a burden, because you are there throughout the 24-hour cycle, but you're only really looking at maybe profitable hours being before midnight. So there are all those conversations to have.
But even so, there are other actual companies that are actually running 24 hours already anyway, as it is. So for example, an organization like let's say VRA. VRA runs 24/7.
I mean, right? Even going far, there are pharmacies that run 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Most hospitals, the private hospitals as well now. A lot before, private hospitals will not necessarily run for 24 hours. But now they do. They have emergency. The bigger ones have emergency units and all that. You can go and see a GP in the night. There are times where I've not been feeling well. I feel like I'm coming down with a flu, a bug. My kids are not well. You walk into a hospital at 1 a.m. You get served, and you can go through the whole process. It's quieter, but there are also other people there. So you're right. Some businesses are doing it, but if we open it up and we now harp on it that this is something we should do, this is the angle we should be looking at, this is where we should go, will it really be profitable? So I can really understand where Joe Jackson is coming from, even though I do think it's a brilliant idea. And then the other thing is that Ghana, things in Ghana don't work like they work in the rest of the world. It's so strange. Things that are supposed to be working a certain way in other places, you'd be surprised I come to Ghana, it'll be a totally different story. So I mean, it's really about research and whatnot. But we have Michael on the line. Michael, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
How is Sefri this morning?
Oh, yeah, managing. We have a booming plantain ongoing.
All right,
you have to send some to us. Michael,
yes, you will definitely.
Please send some. We use it to pound fufu and fry kilurili.
yes.
What do you think about the idea of a 24-hour economy?
Well, it's a very nice initiative, and we have to embrace it irrespective of where it is coming from.
Okay.
Let us see ourselves. Where are we traveling? Where we are traveling to? Our youth and our able men are traveling to. They have been practicing this policy.
Sure.
Ghanaians go there, work with the whole profitable hours that they want to get rich or get something and bring back home. So we have to provide a productive areas of which Ghanaians are going to work over that hours with a nice package, and at the end of it, you will have our productivity, a well-productive economy.
Yeah.
And if we want to get rich, we want to be paid well. Meanwhile, we are not trying to toil and work in a productive hours. You go to some offices, offices are choked, and it's like a basic thing that we have to do a day. Almost 10 people are doing it at the same hours. Why can't we segment or break them into some?
That's a good one.
Yes, that maybe some can work in the morning, and the evening time, or even in the night. And at the end, you will stand to achieve some basic things. Look at example like maybe Planting for Food initiative that they brought. Like if you initiate a regional base or maybe a district farming program, and maybe national service, maybe SS leaders, and they are working there. All this, or maybe working hours, or maybe we cannot farm in the night, but we have groups that they will go in the morning, afternoon, the evening. In fact, this program will work effectively for us. So it's a nice policy, and we should not consider where it is coming from. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We have to try to change our ways of doing things.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that call from.
No, but that's a brilliant point.
I like it.
It's a brilliant point that people are traveling abroad to go and do this kind of thing anyway. Like you work in the morning, you have a shift from 7 a.m. to maybe midday, right? You go and sleep for 3 hours,
get up and go and
eat, do some things, and 6 p.m. you have another shift somewhere. Working 2 jobs. Some people will do 3, and like you said, the youth are traveling to places, some of them, because that opportunity exists. So I can do multiple things within a structure, because not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Let's be honest. So if I can get jobs, gainful employment within a structured environment and do 2 or 3 jobs and earn different salaries, he's right. I mean, that's an interesting.
That's really what it is.
Thing to consider as well.
We have all these. I don't know. Was it 10,000 nurses or something that have left our shores? Many of them are working at night.
Of course.
That is a night shift.
Yeah.
And even the term from the song, the night shift,
it
comes from the 24-hour economy. The fact that you work day, you work afternoon, you work night.
It's true. And I've also seen parts of the world where farming is being done at night.
Yes.
So you have huge floodlights, and they are harvesting,
at night.
Harvesting wheat and all sorts of things at night. So you can even go and see the farm in the night.
Absolutely.
So again, if you're going to do that, our access routes to the farms,
we have to put
are they
things
safe?
in place.
So no snake will be biting you.
The farm may have floodlights, but the road to the farm will be dark. This is the problem, you see. Anyway, all right. So I think that it's a great idea. We do need to think through the details of it, though. We had a message from James in Wa. James says, "Good morning, Citi TV. I really love working in the night. So considering a 24-hour work day is a good thing, but the robbery cases is my worry. If security measures were put in place, then fine. All right, so that's a good one there. Yeah.
And this one is from Nelly. Nelly in Switzerland says, I've been working in the night my whole life. I'm not much of a morning person, so I get my chores done, take care of my kids, and I'm off to work by 5 p.m. Back at 2, and I sleep until 8. Yeah. So, I mean, there you have it. There's some people to maybe say, you're lazy, but it's just that the structure doesn't exist for them to thrive.